name that TV show quiz here. Got it? I'm gonna hum for you, or kind of da-da-da, some tunes from classic TV shows. And if you know what they are, then raise your hand. You young ones are gonna have a hard time with this. The older ones are probably gonna get it. Okay? Dun 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 dun. Okay, what is it? Gilligan's Island. Okay, try it. Tell this one. Dun 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 dun. Bonanza, you got it. Okay, another one. Dun 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 dun. Flintstones. Okay, here. Not in this one. Da 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 da. What is it?
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yeah, come on. Did you know that this last week on September 8th was the 50th anniversary of when the first Star Trek episode began? Isn't that something? It's quite a legacy. Because that Star Trek series that sparked a bunch of movies. I mean, there are games, there's merchandise. Can you do this? Let me see. Come on, hold on. This was that Vulcan Spock greeting, remember? Okay. Yeah, there you go. So your kids know that. What was incredible about that show, and this is again back in the 60s, is that it presented the future as being positive. It's like it's a good thing, and great things are going to happen. And if you also think when it started, it was in the 60s, and there was a lot of racial, discord back then. Remember that? And so here's a show where all the leads are these mixed races. And not only do they tolerate each other, they are working together. It was really a strong statement about how we can all work together. But you remember on that show, the theme song, there was that voiceover, remember? The da-da-da, he said, and we are seeking new life and new civilizations, and boldly go where no one, I'll change that, boldly go where no one has gone before. I mean, that's an incredible message. I think it's a message that everybody can relate to because we want the future to be better. We are seeking goodness, not only today, but in the days to come. Now, I really think that's what Jesus was getting at in the gospel, where he's talking about, if you want to be honest, it starts today. It doesn't start, I want to be honest tomorrow, next week. And so you really got to look at how trustworthy you are today. How authentic are you today? Do you hold things back? Do you tell half-truths? Do you kind of steal things from the office once in a while, or borrow things? I mean, how honest are you? And then, of course, Jesus does the famous line about serving two masters. You know that very well. And in this version from Luke, it uses the word mammon. You cannot serve God and mammon. Now, mammon is a fancy word back in the time of Jesus for not only money, but also the desire to have a lot of money, that kind of sense of greed. And in a sense, Jesus is really talking kind of like the Star Wars thing. He's talking about something bold, a brave new world. And you think about it, because what he's really talking about is not just to them, but to us. How many times we get confused about what our priorities are. Now, the last couple weeks, you've been hearing Jesus talk about, it's the same gospel, about how you've got to get your priorities right. You can't be, looking at family more important than anything else, or work. And he specifically says, and in the first reading, we've got to start looking at what we treasure the most. And unfortunately, for many of us, what happens is we treasure money so much. Give an example. For a lot of people, when they come to church here, and they give money, well, they don't give money first to say, oh, what can I give back to God? But it's kind of like, well, what do I have left over? Or how did I like the homily? It's kind of like tipping. I'll give him a good, if he's saying really well. Jesus is saying that you got to think of God first. And here's the great thing about it. Again, Jesus is talking about a whole new world. When that happens, good things will always happen in your life. Like right now, if you've got some money woes, like, oh, making ends meet, it's probably because you got your priorities goofed up. And you're not putting God first. And the whole sense of like giving to God first. And then everything settles down. Like, trust me, it always works. Jesus is talking about a bold new world. And so many of you just do not trust that. And so many of you, when you talk about giving to the poor or giving to the church, it's whatever I have left over or whatever I think maybe. But I got to take care of myself first. And Jesus says, no, you got to switch it around and start trusting God. And when that happens, good things will always work out. I'll give you another example. Like where you put your priorities as far as your time. Because there's so many people, they say, well, we go to church when we can. But we're traveling, or we're up at the lake, or we've got the soccer tournament. And I'm saying, you've got things, the priorities wrong. And when you make a commitment to say, I'm going to go to church every weekend, I don't care if we're traveling or if there's a tournament somewhere. And again, I guarantee you when that happens, it's going to be an incredible week. But so many of you are searching for a good life, and you want to be trustworthy, and all those good things that Jesus talked about. I said it's as simple as showing up. Letting God speak to you, receiving the presence of God in the Eucharist. Now we do this with our priorities, not just individually, but we also do it as a community. As you know, we have a mission statement as a parish. And I think it's actually probably one of the best mission statements of any parish I've ever heard. It's just 5 words. If you don't, say it with me. Love God, live the Eucharist. Say it again. Love God, live the Eucharist. It's so simple. It's beautiful. Because it starts off to saying, we got to put God first in our lives. And everything we do, we got to start trusting God. We got to recognize in our time and what we give to others. And you put God first. Everything falls into place. But then it also says we've got to not only receive the Eucharist, but live the Eucharist. Become the Eucharist. So that we are that place of hopefulness. Just as the Eucharist reminds us that Jesus did not stay on the cross, but he has resurrection. We don't stay in darkness, but we have light. And when we live the Eucharist, we are like that kind of living document or that living instrument that says, yes, here's the Eucharist right in each of us. We receive it and we live it. Well, back when we created the mission statement, this is like when we became a merged parish, 2010. A couple of years after that, I brought forth my vision for our parish. We called it the vision statements. And I recognize that we've had many people join since then. We recognize that some of you old timers may have forgot what the vision was. Actually, I created these and the parish council adopted them. And I think they're pretty good, I might say so myself, because I copied them from St. Teresa of Avila. She lived in the Middle Ages. And she says, yet we've got that Christ has no body but ours, no hands, no feet, no voice but ours. If you want to know where's the body of Christ, it's you, it's me. So the vision statement says that we are to become the heart of Christ, which means we are to be a welcoming and friendly community. The statement says, Christ our Light Parish will be welcoming to all, with a warmth and hospitality that permeates what we do and extends beyond our walls. Second one, to become the body of Christ, which means we will be inspiring and transformative. Christ Our Light parishes, or Christ Our Light's liturgies, programs, and ministries will be inspiring and transformative, calling for full, active, conscious participation by all its members. The third one is to become the hands of Christ, with a clear social justice or social concerns focus. Christ Our Light Parish will encourage members to embrace the call of outreach to those in need through their time, talent, and treasure. Real simple. To be welcoming and friendly, to be inspiring and transformative, and a clear social justice or social concerns focus. Now, so here's your challenge for the week. You're actually going to get a letter from me. We're going to send it out on Monday. And it talks about a lot of things. We've got the financial statement in it, and updated a couple things. But I've included those vision statements in there. What I'd like you to do is actually to think about those and meditate and reflect on those vision statements. As you know, there's always copies of the homily in the kiosk when you come in. So those of you who like to read along, or if you can't hear so well, you can always take one. And now all the homilies are always, they're not only online written, but we now have them recorded, actually. That's what Jenny's doing right there. So they'll always be online, and you can download them. Just go to our website, and you can just find them and share them with your friends or review them. But those vision statements are going to be on there again. And I also found out that there's closed caption on that. So those of you who have a hard time hearing, you can see and view it. But what I'd like you to do is to challenge yourself to see how you can become more welcoming and friendly. For example, beginning Mass, you had to greet people. Some of you hate it. I can tell. You're like, oh, okay. No, that's not who we are. We are a welcoming community. It's about time you start smiling when you got here. It's about time you recognize this is a joy to be here. We got our friends. We got our community here. How welcoming we are going to be is how each one of you are. We say we're going to be transformative and we're going to be inspiring. Well, how inspiring are you? Are you a person that always complains about something? Do you always find the negative? Or do you start looking for good? How much do you take advantage of all the things that we have going on? Like we post all the things, like tonight we got this fabulous concert. And I bet some of you are not going to be here because you're going to go home and watch TV. What's that? Stay and be inspired. Take advantage of what we do. We've got adult education, what's going to happen on the first Wednesday of every night. Come and learn. Be transformed. Take advantage of what we do. The last thing is, what is your duty, or what is your participation with a social justice program? And what do you do? Do you do anything? Do you help anybody? Do you volunteer time at all? Maybe you got to start looking at that. I got to make this world better, but it starts just by doing one thing. You have to solve the whole world's problems, but start by one thing. Teresa of Avila, St. Teresa, she says that Christ has no other hands but your hand. No other feet, no other heart, no other voice, but yours. I believe that we're on the verge as a parish, not just to stay a good parish. We're a fine parish. But I believe we're on the verge to become a great parish. And I don't mean growing, I don't mean adding people, not at all, but just that we, our members, really get it. That we become that presence of Christ, welcoming, inspiring, reaching out. I believe that we might be going where no one else has gone before. A new world, a new way of church.